All right. Welcome to another episode of Connect and Politic. We're here with a special guest. Please introduce yourself by telling us your name, where you're currently located, and your favorite snack.
How's it going? I'm Raul Ovalles, or Ovales, like my sister says. My favorite, I'm in Riverdale, New York. Originally from the South Bronx. My favorite snack, I don't snack a lot, but when I do, I guess I'll grab some cheese and some cold cuts. Like like, I don't like candy, I don't like sugar, so I'm a salty, like I like salty snacks. Love buffalo wings, but yeah, I guess cold cuts and assorted cheese, I guess.
So what kind of are these? Any specialty cheese or just American?
I like the white cheeses, your provolones, your monster cheese, Swiss cheese, and I love the General salami. I love just rolling up and
Nice.
salty snacks.
I see. Do you remember your favorite food as a child?
Woof. Funny story. Like, my mom used to have to bribe me to eat. Like, she used to, like, I'll buy you a Hot Wheels car if you finish all your food. I didn't like eating. Believe it or not, a lot of people in my family are like, what? Are you crazy? So my mom created a monster, and then I got used to eating, and then I started getting good at it. So me and my mother lived in the Dominican Republic. So I used to eat a lot of like sweet plantains and fried cooked salami with like eggs and cheese. So I would say sweet plantains with salami and cheese and eggs. That was like, that used to get me excited.
Nice. And what's your favorite meal as an adult now?
Ooh, there's so many. Off the top, sushi comes to mind, but in the spirit of Dominican cuisine, goat stew.
Okay.
Like Dominican goat stew with like white rice and like fried plantains.
Nice.
That's mind blowing to me. Like, whenever I go visit, I go like, yo, we gotta do a little chivo. Chivo over there. And it's really, really good. Last time I had it was like, I wanna say, wow, it was a while ago. Around Christmas time, Thanksgiving, around that time.
Okay. You only have this in DR, or you have it when you go to family?
Well, family is rare here in the States. In DR, I try to do it every time I go to DR. Yeah. Sometimes twice when I go to DR. So it's a big to-do, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what it is, but like, there's certain people and families and like when you visit DR, they're like, that's the person that does the best chivo. Yeah. So you gotta take advantage of the fact that they're so good at it and
make that happen. No, that's good.
What's
spicy?
Spicy.
Say that again.
Spicy, like a lot of pepper.
Yeah.
A lot of spice. Love spice.
So here in the States, what's your favorite food to eat here?
In the States, I would say sushi. Yeah. Sushi.
What any special type of sushi?
Just like the maki rolls, and I love specialty rolls like some with shrimp tempura in it.
Yeah.
I love the yellowtail jalapeno rolls. Whenever I see something weird in a menu, whenever I visit a restaurant, I just try to go for that. You know what I mean? Try something new.
You like spicy? I see.
Yeah.
What was your favorite fondest, actually, memory from childhood?
My fondest memory? So many, man. I had so much fun as a kid. Jeez. Christmas, I would say. Christmas in the States when I was a kid was amazing because my family immigrated from Dominican Republic, and for some reason they all lived around each other. Like maybe like 3 or 4 of my aunts and uncles lived within walking distance. And the ones that didn't used to feel left out. And when it was Christmas and Thanksgiving, they would come. So like my grandma's house would literally get packed with people. And we had a lot. My aunts and uncles had a lot of kids. So we used to they used to bring all the gifts so we could open them at midnight from the 24th to the 25th. And I remember they used to buy us so much stuff that it'll cover the Christmas tree. Like literally, it'll grow, it'll be in a corner, it'll grow, and you can only see the tip of the Christmas tree. I remember a specific. So I'm one of the oldest of all my cousins. I remember a specific time where I was around 7, 8 years old. G.I. Joe, that just came out, the 3 3/4 inch. And I was so into it. You know, my family didn't have a lot of money. I still have a cousin. His parents had somewhat a little bit more money. You know what I mean? His father owned a bodega. Shout out to Edwin. He's my cousin. So he used to get a lot of cool toys. So one Christmas, the G.I. Joe Jeep, it just came out. And, you know, it was mind-blowing because now you have little action figures that you can move around and you can put them inside of a vehicle and then drive the vehicle around. It was mind-blowing. So I was like, please, please. So before that, my parents used to say, I used to ask for G.I. Joe, and my parents would be like, that's too expensive. It was like $6 at the time, which would be like around 20, I guess, around this time. Yeah. We're like, are you crazy? $6 for a little toy this big? Hell no. No. So, I asked for, Santa to give me that. My mom, every time I used to tell my mom, it's like, listen, I don't know if Santa's going to be able to get that because that's like an item that's rare right now. Everybody's behind it. That was like the tickle me Elmo of the time. So I remember I was like just sitting there. So it's 12 o'clock. They're calling out the name, Santa to this, blah, blah. And my cousin Edwin is getting the helicopter. He got the tank. He got like a dual set of 2 different action figures. His pile is growing next to him. He's like, yeah, no, but I need that Jeep. So I'm like, dang, if they didn't get this kid that Jeep, there's no chances of me getting it. So I'm just sitting there, and my Aunt Georgie, God bless my Aunt Georgie, shout out. My Aunt Georgie went out her way. I remember she had told me that she went above and beyond to find this actual toy. She went downtown, went to a toy store. That toy store told her to go to this other underground toy store. She found it. So my aunt takes the gift and it's like, oh, this is from Santa to Raul. So I grab it and I rip the top and I see the picture of the Jeep, the graphic. And I'm like, mind blown. I was like, what? And my cousin, like, no, that's mine. and poor old me, I'm thinking he's right. This is his. This is a mistake. And I'm like, literally, I'm about to give him the toy. I just ripped the top of it. I'm about to give him my gift. And my aunt said, hey, no, that's yours. I said, it's yours. It has your name on it. And I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, thank God. So I open it, and now, we sit there and start looking at it. We don't start opening them up until everybody gets theirs. So the pile is dwindling. And I'm like, yo, cuz, don't worry about it. You're gonna get yours is one of those. Don't worry about it. We're gonna play with it together. Yeah. But the problem was that he didn't get his that time. His mom, I guess, didn't do the vigilance that my Aunt Georgie did. So he's bugging out. He is bugging out. He's like maybe 3 or 4 years younger than me. He is bugging out. He's like, no, where's my Jeep? I wanted my Jeep. I told you to give me my Jeep. And I'm like, dang. what happened to Santa Claus? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I told you to give me my Jeep. Sorry, Evan, for making you seem like a little selfish there for a second. You was a child at the time, don't worry about it. But anyways, like, I'm like, yo, Ed, you have like the helicopter, you have the tank. Those are like bigger vehicles, you know, that's more expensive than mine. Like, no, but I wanted the Jeep. And he's like, I'll trade you. I'm like, trade me what? Like, all I got was the Jeep. It's like, I'll give you the helicopter. I'm like, no, I don't want the helicopter. I'll give you the helicopter and the tank. I'm like, nah, I can't, man. And he was like, what you mean? So I remember that. And then, like, you know, the vehicles at the time, you used to have to put them together, put the stickers on in the right places. So after we put all our stickers and we're playing, and that was just one occasion, but like every single Christmas, like we were so happy, not just with the material, but like just the fact that there was so many like cousins and like, you know, your uncles and the love that was there. You know, like it was, I wish I could go back. Definitely. I wish I could go back to that.
I mean, I'm sure if I was to ask you, what do you miss about being a child? Is that feeling of that family, you know, the love, the community?
100%. Like we still connect. We still tight, but not like before when we were kids. Like my aunts and uncles they were like best friends, and they all had like 2, 3, 4 kids.
And everyone like, lived next to each other. That proximity.
Lived here. And when it was Thanksgiving or a birthday party, it was just like a gathering, and it was like it was amazing. That was the best part. So but the car wasn't the big deal. The big deal was actually enjoying. But like you just triggered something, a story that landed, that put me in that spot. That just makes me feel all tingling inside. I love my family, man.
Nice. So how do you think that upbringing, you know, that childhood helped groom you into the adult that you are today?
There was a lot of love. There's a lot of love in my family. There was a lot of like the whole family used to raise us. Like you could get reprimanded or your ass beat by any uncle, any aunt at any point in time. So whoever was there, that was like your mom or your dad. Yeah. So everything was on check. Like my grandmother, my aunts. So you saw that you wasn't the only one being disciplined. You saw what was the pattern as you, like, you know, you have to behave. Stop running around. The people downstairs. La 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 la. You know, like you start getting that whole community upbringing, I guess, but it's more a family. And I remember my mom telling me, like, when I was in high school, like freshman year, 16 years old, it was like, you better not smoke marijuana because you're gonna ruin your life. And what would Georgie say, or what would Grandma say? And like I literally like picture it and go like, holy crap! I wouldn't want to disappoint my aunt. I wouldn't want to disappoint my, because we were so tight. Yeah. So like the fact there was so many people that influenced me and I had so much respect for them, kind of put me in check a lot. You know what I mean? Put me in check. It wasn't just mom and dad. My mom and dad, they were all over us. But I remember thinking about that.
Yeah, no, that's great. What would you say are the most important lessons you learned from your parents in particular, so your mom and dad?
The first thing that popped into my head was accountability. Like, you gotta be responsible for the things that you do wrong as well as the ones that you do right. But if you did something wrong, own it and fix it. It's kind of like you can't blame nobody but yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember we like as a kid going like, but why? And my mom and my dad would get in my face and like, because you did this and that and this, and that's what happened. And I was like, so growing up, I always thought, okay, if I do this and this happens, it's my fault. So therefore, I think that makes you a better person, makes you more better person to be around, I guess. Better person to know. Because, you know, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to, like, sometimes, you know, acknowledge that you're wrong. And especially, like, with your spouse or with your close friend, where you just go like, dang, man, like, I fucked up. You know what, man? I'm sorry I said that, man. Like, I shouldn't have said that. But, you know, some people will say, like, he know that I didn't mean it. I ain't gotta say nothing. You know?
Yeah. No, that's true. When you do you remember when you first left your parents' house?
Ooh, that was a big one. That was I was 18 turning 19. I joined the U.S. Army.
And what surprised you when you went to the Army, when you left your parents' house?
What surprised me? Ooh, it was well, you know, you go to basic training and it's like, you know, like you hit the ground running.
Yeah.
I remember we get there and we go to something called reception. But in the whole process of you lining up and doing things, you forget the word reception. You think that this is actually basic training because they teach you it's like the first 3 or 4 days before you go to, you know, to meet your drill sergeant.
Yeah.
So you meet all these sergeants that are stern, but they're not like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. They're like, you know, they talk to you. So I'm like, oh, this basic training thing ain't that bad. And then they come pick you up in a blue bus, school bus, and you know these drill sergeants come under this blue bus. And, you know they got their Class A uniform and their nice brimmed hats, and they're like stern. They look like superheroes. They come out, and the sergeants that were in reception, they're lining you up, getting you ready. They don't say anything. They get you in, and funny story. They get you in the bus, and you have all your bags on your lap, and you're all lined up. 2 seats for every person. I mean, 2 people in every bench. And the drill sergeant comes in, and he tells the bus driver, close the door, and the door closes. And this guy goes in from the top of his door. Oh crap! Blast the blue! You messed up now. Not you. And he's pacing back and forth with this animation. You're like, crap, like, what did I do? Like, what happened? No. And he's like, all right, we're moving now. Put your hands down. Because they don't want you to see where you're going, so you won't try to escape in the middle of the night. So they'll drive you around the base and then take you to the. So anyways, as we're driving, he's like, you better pray that this bus flips in an accident and I break my neck and I die. Because I'm going to shape you. You will hate me. You better pray. And the bus stops. He opens the door. He goes like, oh, shit. Y'all didn't pray hard enough. Get out my bus. Get out. So that just automatically made me go like, I want to go home. Like, what am I doing here? Remember that once they get you through that whole day, it's all hype. The stress levels are incredible, just day one. And at the end of the night, you're being told what to do every second of that day until you're about to go to sleep. And then they tell you, grab a pen, grab a paper, and you got 60 seconds to write a letter to your parents. Tell them that you're okay. Because you're not going to be in communication with them for at least another week or 2. Mm. So I'm writing a letter, and my letter says, Mom, I don't know what I did. I don't want to be here. This place is horrible. I made a mistake. blah, blah, blah. That's what I wrote, because all the tension and all the screaming. So we folded, boom, we sent it. So, you know, after 3 or 4 days, you know, like, the tension slows down. I mean, it's still high pitch, but it's not as intense as day one. So the drill sergeant comes into the bay and he says, Ovales, get over here. It's like, oh, crap. You don't want your name to be mentioned. You don't want your name in the drill sergeant's mouth. So I run downstairs because they want me to go to the office. I'm like, crap. It's like I'm going to the principal's office and like I'm only 4 days in. So the drill sergeant is sitting in the bed at his desk. He's like, pick up the phone. I'm like, excuse me, drill sergeant? Like, pick up the phone. That's your mother. I'm like, hello? And my mom is like, baby, what's going on? Tell me. I'll go get you. Don't worry about it. I'll get you. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, Ma, why are you calling my drill sergeant? Are you crazy? No. It's like, no, I got in contact with your recruiter. I told your recruiter. He tried to explain to me that everything's all right. I said, I got to talk to my baby. Well, I swear, I will go to the news. You guys kidnapped my son. Hilarious. So I'm like, no, Ma, you know, it's a lot of stress. I'm fine. They're not making you say that, are you? They're not making you say that. I'm like, no, Ma, I swear. Okay, all right, baby. You sure? I'm like, yes. I got to go, Ma. I'm like, okay, cool. It's like, and you know what came after that with the drill sergeant? Oh, my God. I had to pay for that, let me tell you.
Oh, my
Everything
goodness.
was like, oh, you want to call your mommy? You want to call your mommy? It's hilarious, man. And then, you know, being from the Bronx or from New York, they're like, that's the first thing they ask you. It's like, who's from New York? My recruiter told me, don't say that you're from New York because they're going to mess with you.
Yeah.
New York, Chicago, LA, Miami, the major cities. They ask all of them. Like, what? Where are you from? No, I said New York. And I go like, fuck that, rep, yes, baby. So I raised my hand. He goes like, where are you from? New York. No, I said, the Bronx. Because he asked New York. I was like, oh, where you trying to, I'm from the Bronx. He's like, no, where you from? The Bronx. I was like, no, idiot, where are you from? Like, New York, I guess? He's like, exactly. And I'm like, what was that? Like, and I'm like, but it was fun. I would do it again. Basic training, if I was to do it all over again,
You do
I
it
got
again?
it done now because I'm not in shape like that anymore. You need to be 18, 19, 20 to be a basic trainer.
No, but it's good times, good times.
Yes,
What's your favorite things to do now for self-care?
Self-healing. Same as my sister. I think she mentioned laughing. I love to laugh, man. I love to laugh. I love to be around my family. I have even a smaller ring of family members that are around my age. My cousin Edwin. I have like about 5 or 6 people that I hang out with they literally, when I hang out with them, it's almost like relaxing.
Yeah.
We laugh we're like always giggling on each other. All we do is just make fun of each other. Man. Like you better not wear that weird shirt. Like I'll wear this shirt and they'll take me deep. Like, oh, shoes, whatever it may be. But we like no holds bars. Like my wife, it's a funny story, but my wife at the beginning, and even sometimes now, we get together and sometimes she's there. So it'll be like a bunch of guys and she'll be there. And they'll start taking me deep. And then she started taking it personal. And as we're driving home, she's like, yo, why did Ezekiel say that about this and about, babe, that's what we do. You ain't hear me? Take him deep on this and this and this and that. I'm like, well, that's you. I'm like, well, that's them. Like, it's such a fun time to be around. It's like
these are guys you grew up with?
Yes, cousins. I have best friend from work, and then like sometimes you meet a friend through a friend, and then you become closer with that friend and the friend you met him with.
Yeah.
We have a lot of that, but it's a tight group. Like, yeah, I could call those guys in the middle of the night and tell them to bring a pick and shovel, and they won't ask any questions.
Nice. Is there something that you're looking forward to that excites you?
Couple of things. Right now, I'm looking forward to buying my own home, like buying a house. I'm thinking of moving to like Florida or Texas. I'm in between. I gotta do some trips down there to see some neighborhoods. I'm excited about that. I get excited about travel. Unfortunately, like, with this pandemic, we haven't been able to travel that much, but I try to do at least 3 a year. So, like, just unwind. So, like, last time I went on vacation was September of last year, which is, for me and my wife, it's like, that's crazy. Like, in a whole year when we're used to, like, doing 3 or 4, it's bad.
What's your favorite place to visit that you visited thus far?
That I visited so far? So many I love. I love Samaná. It's the peninsula on the top of the Dominican map in the northeast. It's like a lot of villas out there. It's not a lot of tourism. The only tourism that you see is like European and Canadian tourism up there. But it's so unspoiled. It's so beautiful. The beaches are crazy. The water's beautiful. I love that place. I love Jamaica. Jamaica is more the people. Like, I love Jamaica. It's more the people than the place, because the place, if you change everybody's accent to Dominican, it's Dominican Republic. Like when we drive in from the airport to the resort or whenever we go anywhere, it's like, this is DR. Like, it has the same plans, the same roads, the same thing. Yeah. But the people are so welcoming. The people are so loving, like so down to earth. Love the food. Like, oh my God, jerk chicken, jerk pork, love it. Spice, I love spice. So I love Jamaica. Yeah. But it's more because of the people. Like growing up in DR, you're used to like the beaches and the rivers and the waterfalls and stuff like that. Yeah. Nice. People love Jamaican people.
What do you do in your professional life? And is it any different than what you dream about doing as a kid?
I'm currently retired NYPD detective. I dreamed about it. Almost everybody that was a 5-year-old, that played cops and robbers. Big fan of Miami Vice. Growing up, all the TV shows, SWAT, Knight Rider, anything dealing with, getting the bad guy, getting the good guy. G.I. Joe, big influence there. But I didn't think I was gonna become that, because your family pushes the whole lawyer, doctor thing, like I don't know. Like, I wished it was, but it only became real when I got out of the military. But when I was in the military, I thought about it. It was like, a lot of guys that were talking about getting out and joining police departments in their state. So I was like, oh, maybe I could do that. Maybe I'm good for that. But once I became a cop, like, it was a dream come true. Like, I love it. I love my job. Well, my old job. But, it's crazy. I still can't, because I retired just the other day. I got retired on February 29th.
Oh, this year?
Of this year.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. So,
right on time, too. Right on time. COVID hit. And
Yeah.
the police is not necessarily fake, and good,
Yeah.
nobody likes cops.
Yeah.
But
I didn't know it was that. When you said it earlier, I thought you retired, years ago. But it's fresh.
It's really fresh. So like I'm still getting used to it.
Yeah.
Like all my coworkers, ex-coworkers, they call me like, bro, you gotta ride on time, man. And I'm like, tell me about it. And they're like, dude, so how does it feel? Like, what does it feel like? And I say, I feel like I'm still on vacation. Like I took a long vacation. I still think that I'm gonna go to work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously with the COVID and everything, it's almost like Groundhog Day. Every day you wake up, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But
that's so given the experiences you've had, with a big family, strong family unit, joining the military, being a New York City cop and detective. If you were to write a book, what would it be about?
Whew, it's a hard one. Well, lately, because of the huge gap between police work and the community, and the big interest in policing by the community, I think I'll write something about that. I think I'll write something about. I used to get frustrated as a cop because I don't know if you remember back in the days, what you call these, like PDFs? Oh, no. The messages that they used to post, like while you're watching
PSA, public service announcement.
PSA, yes, like that. PSA.
Yeah.
I remember PSAs, and there should be some PSAs. This, like the community, there should be some type of way for this. Similar. There should be a responsibility of part of the police department. Community affairs, I don't think does what they could be doing, meaning explaining situations. For example, one controversial one is resisting arrest. A lot of people don't know that resisting arrest is a crime of its own. So like by you resisting arrest, you're committing a crime. Like all my close friends and family members, I tell them, listen, if you're getting arrested, I can only speak for New York City. If you're getting arrested and you think you're being falsely arrested, be polite, explain to the officer what's going on from your side, and like if he says you're under arrest, you're under arrest. Now that for a police officer is not taken lightly. You could detain somebody, but once you arrest somebody, if you falsely arrested that person, there's some consequences that, not only that you're going to get from the police department, but now you as the civilian, you could sue him personally, and you could sue the city, the department. So it's not like you don't take that lightly, especially in a city like New York. So I will say things like that. Another one is levels of force. Like a lot of people don't know that a police officer, at least in the city of New York, has the authority to strike you. Like a lot of people think that you gotta be like Batman and just one blow to the knee and you're gonna drop and I'm just gonna twist your arm and lock you up. A lot of people don't realize that you're allowed to punch, you're allowed to kick, you're allowed to knee, elbow, but those things obviously at the right moment. Certain things dictate others, but it gets complicated. And that's what I would write on. Like a lot of people don't know, you know what I mean? Like nowadays, there's a lot of interest in knowing, but a lot of people don't know. And the people that are like letting go of the information are leaving so many important things out because they want to hype, it's
Yeah.
news. Like, you want to hype
Yeah.
it up.
So with that said, especially given the current climate, why aren't you writing this book? Or even the blog post?
Listen. I literally I'm like, sometimes I'll sit there and I'll see a program, or I'll see I try to avoid the news, but like I'll see the news or something on YouTube, and like I hear what I think are intelligent people discussing the problem, and I'm like I wish I could just chime in and add certain things. But the thing is that what I hate is that they know they should be saying what I think they should be saying, because these are professionals, and they don't, just because they want to either hype something up or show a narrative, and it's like, it gets me so angry. And like you said, like, it's almost like I want to write something. As a matter of fact, not write. Not write. I don't like writing. I would say I was thinking of maybe joining something like a group, like something in the city that maybe like could speak to people, like could go to like neighborhoods, and like speak
like a community activist group.
Yeah, like a community activist group where like I could talk to the kids and explain. But it's nowadays it's hard to find that group that just doesn't want to go into politics. That wants to like just tell the truth about like interactions and what you're supposed to do with certain interactions. Because right now, what I noticed, I got off the street about 5 years ago because I became a squad detective. I was like a crime detective. Like I wasn't a detective at the time. I was undercover or plainclothes. So I was more looking for guns and heavy drugs and stuff like that. So, excuse me. When I was looking like 5 years back, before this whole crazy started, before the craziness with anti-police stuff happened, I started to notice the respect for the cop was like, being thrown to the side, like people like, I don't want to say that I was a good cop but I was the type of cop that would try to like bring everything, calm everything. Even other cops that were being a little hype, I would try to like chime in, and I would crack jokes. I had it as a matter of fact, coworkers of mine used to laugh because like they used to say, "Yo, Raul, when he writes a ticket, the person he gave the ticket to thanks him almost every time. So, thanks, officer." I'm like, how do you do that? How do you got people thanking you for giving them a ticket? I hated giving tickets, by the way, But when I gave you a ticket, you knew you did something wrong. It wasn't an if or maybe. Like, you did something wrong. So, yeah, like, I would want to find somewhere where I could talk to the youth and explain to them how they should act in the interaction between cops. Because right now, almost every interaction I see, and some of my cousins that they're on the job and they're still on the job, the minute that, you stop somebody for urinating in public, and all of a sudden he starts wilding out. Cameras start popping out the woodwork, and you're like, dude, like, I just stopped because he was urinating in front of this building. That interaction in the past would have been just like, "Oh, officer, my bad." And, depending on their situation, you can either give them a pass or not. But now it's like, cops are afraid. Like there's a lot of young cops, a lot of rookie cops I see on the street that are scared to address minor situations. Like I drive down the street and I'm seeing violations all over because I was used to looking at violations. So I'll see like tinted windows that are like limo tint on the windshield and all. And I'm like, wow, like that, you couldn't do 2 blocks in the old New York with that. You see people urinating everywhere, you know. Cops are like driving by, like, I don't see anything.
You know, this
it's bad. It's bad, man. It's bad.
This could be like your second career though.
I mean, true.
It could be, you know, like as I'm listening to you, it could almost be like it sounds like you can even consult the police department as well as like create a personality via social media or whatever, where it's like it's literally community PSAs where you record yourself just telling people, you know, in this situation, this is what you can expect, or this is what you should do, et cetera, et cetera. And I literally could see that taking off. I could see police departments appreciating that, and I could see community members, you know, appreciating it as well.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. I follow certain YouTubers, some cop YouTubers, car YouTubers. Big Joe Rogan fan. Like shout out to Joe Rogan. You gotta bring me in, man. I'll be so interesting. Listen, we could talk. But I think doing something on the internet, talking, you know, like maybe on YouTube, having a channel, that could be something. Yeah, like
is that?
I always said that my second career was gonna be working with an airline, so I could just take, you know, flights everywhere, wherever I wanted. You know what I mean? Like that was like I could do this. I could be a bag check guy. I could even do luggage, you know, in the basement.
Yeah.
And so I could travel. So I love travel. You know?
What's your where's on your bucket list to travel to?
Oh, Maldives. I like Fiji, Bora Bora, but the Maldives, I like literally, I research it almost every time I go into like Expedia or anywhere where I'm searching for out, like, you know, on the search bar, it has the history of places that you search for. So Maldives is always there. So I'm like, let me see how flights and hotels are right now. And it's definitely like a honeymoon, you know, budget.
Yeah.
And but we still haven't had a honeymoon, me and my wife. So I'm actually thinking of actually.
You have a lot. I mean, have you checked the flights lately?
Yes. Right now, it's between. You could go for like $6,000-$7,000 flight and hotel. That's not including all inclusive niggas. Like I think there's like maybe 2 or 3 in the whole Maldives that do all inclusive. So you gotta think that how expensive food and drinks are there, because these are tiny islands in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So I actually did my research there, and like breakfast is like $110, and you're like for 2. I'm like, what? So I'm gonna have to bring my Genoa salami and cheese in the bag, kid. But between 6 and 7. But the problem is that you want to go, if you're gonna go, you want to go to a real decent one.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you don't want to go too cheap, but you don't want to go super expensive. And like, I try to find dates where business class is not that much more expensive. Because I've noticed that business class, going international, like going to Europe and Asia, business class is better than first class going to the Caribbean. Caribbeans, you know. So that's a long flight. So you have to stop either in Dubai or one of those countries near Dubai, and then pop a flight to Maldives, and then from there, depending what island you were close to the airport, you either take a boat or a pop-up plane. So it's like, I think this is when you might want to invest in having a business class or at least, extra leg room or something, because
Indeed.
coach is not going to cut it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Can you think of any advice you would give your younger self?
How do you advise I give my younger self? Relax, take it easy. Because I remember as a junior high school, like 7th grade, 8th grade, and going into high school, there's so much pressure. I mean, you're like 15, 16 years old, and everybody from your house to your teacher, at least to me, all they were talking about is like, so what you gonna do? So what you gonna do for the rest of your life? What you gonna do? You gotta pick. You gotta pick now. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't even know, I don't know anything. You know what I mean? I'm a kid. So SATs and stuff like that. And I remember, like, what are you going to do? Like, you got to be successful. Because, that pressure from my mom and my dad, we're immigrants. So it's like, you can't, I remember it was drilled in my head. Like, you have to be better than us. You have to do it. Like, your kids have to be better than you. Like, you have to keep it going. So it's a lot of pressure to make it. And I think if I could go back there, I'm like, listen, buddy, just do what you do. Keep going. You'll be all right. Just keep up. Like, keep going. Don't stop. Just keep going. Yeah, definitely. A lot of pressure.
Yeah, that immigrant pressure is real. What's the best advice you've received about money?
Best advice? Financially, you say?
Yeah, about money. Yep.
About money. One came to mind right away. My grandfather used to say this. He died when I was young, but we had a close relationship. Like, I don't remember him saying it, but my mom used to say that. He used to always say this. In Spanish is lo barato sale caro. That which is cheap comes out to be expensive.
Mm.
So then, you think about that and you go like, oh, so basically you tell me, don't buy cheap stuff. But it goes deeper, It goes like, it's basically telling you, invest on everything you do. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to buy a stereo. Make sure that you really want that stereo. Make sure that you can afford that stereo. And go get it. Don't just, because you want a stereo, just buy the cheapest one and settle for the cheapest one. And that dawned on me years after I heard it. I just thought of it as, don't buy cheap stuff. But then, like, it dawned on me as I'm growing up, like, the investments that I did, well, somewhat investments, because most of the stuff that you buy when you're a young adult, like a TV, a stereo, everything drops in price, like cars. But in other words, be smart about what you spend your money on.
Yeah. That's
basically what that says. And it popped into my head right away. Because when I think financials, I think that right away.
No, that's great advice, man. That's a jewel, as I call it. What has been the toughest thing you've had to tackle, and what helped you get through it?
Oof. The toughest thing I ever had to tackle was becoming a father and not being there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Becoming a father and not being there. Oh my gosh. That's my mom calling from Dominican Republic.
Perfect timing. When you show this to her, you can show it. You can say, "Mom, see."
Yeah.
You can say, "Mom, you call right on time."
That's it. Being a father and not, because my father's always been in my life, and I had a lot of friends that didn't have a father in their lives, and I used to be like, crap, like I found myself lucky to have a dad that came in, after work, and he was always there when he wasn't working.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to be like my father. So like I always said, like my dream was to have a family.
Mm. This is
And be like my father.
This is even as a young kid. You had this dream?
Yeah, as a young kid, I always said, like, I want to have a family like my father. Like, I idolized my father. I always said, that's a real man. Like, I was like, yo, that's a man. I'm a man. I got to be like him. Yeah. And in some of my friends and family that were around the same age as me, some of those marriages broke up. I mean, the fathers were still there. Like, they will come around and they'll be on top of stuff. But it's a big difference when you wanna when you just want to have a conversation with your dad. And you know what I mean? Like now, especially in the 80s, now you have to call him.
Yep.
But when I had a baby with somebody that I wasn't with in a relationship at that time, mm-hmm. It's just like a ton of, like, everything just came crumbling down. I was like, wait a minute, I'm not going to be like a statistic. I'm not going to, like, oh crap, like I have to marry this girl. I have to like I was 29 years old. So I had already done the military thing. I was a cop already. I was living fast life. Like, yeah. I was happy. I was like, I love my career. I was at a high time in my life. And then, boom. And then reality hits. And you go like, whoa, hey. I mean, we tried to work it out, but it didn't work out. I tried to be my daughter's life as much as I can, but I know it's not the same, and that hurts. Like that's a guilt that I live with every day. Yeah. And now I'm married. I have a baby, little 4-year-old little girl. So now I feel a lot of guilt because now I'm giving her what I didn't give my oldest. So I deal with that every day. And my mom, she's awesome when it comes to that. She's my mom is like the Dalai Lama, man. Like my mom could talk to anybody down. I guess that's where I get it from. I try to put myself in your shoes in every situation. I try to talk you down. My mom calms me down. She has a lot of beautiful advice. But even with that, you can't get rid of that, man. Yeah. You can't get rid of that. Right now, I just pray that my oldest, she's 15, about to be 16. Shout out to Anali, I love you. My prayer is that she's gonna be successful and that she's gonna have a good life and that she's gonna meet somebody and she, there's nothing that that her life is as least affected as possible for me not being there all the time. Yeah. Or the amount of time I should be there. Yeah. That's the hardest. Like to me, things have happened to me that are crazy, and that's nothing compared to that. That's the hardest.
As a so now you have 2 daughters, right?
2 daughters, yeah.
Yeah. So what values are you hoping to imprint on both of them? But even more so the youngest one. Is with you.
I'm really concerned with family. Like nowadays, I'm noticing that family and getting together it's not as cool as it was before. Now it's almost like, I don't get along with my aunt. I don't get along with that cousin. I'm just not gonna go there. You know, you try not to solve problems, and you know, you might bump into a cousin. You know, you might not see a cousin in years, and that cousin's kids could have been your daughter's best friend.
Yeah.
You know, and also I see a lot of I don't think society appreciates family as like the views of society today don't appreciate family as much as my mom's generation appreciated family. Family was everything. Everybody dreamed about having a family. I've noticed me growing up, the generation, you know, like younger than me, generation before me, all they could think about is, you know, career. Like you dig yourself into a hole, and then you get to where you're going. Now you're the CEO of a major company, but now what? You got it. Are you happy? Like, and for girls, it's hard because girls nowadays you have to motivate them to say, yeah, I want to go and get it. I want to be a CEO of a company. You want them to be like any child, as successful as possible. But for that to really be possible, you're going to lack on the family department. So it's hard because they could, like, men could go to like their 40s and 50s without having a child, and it's okay. Women don't have that. It's harder for them.
Yeah.
So it's hard to teach a kid, a girl, that it's okay to want to have a family, and it's okay to want to have a family and have a career. You know what I mean? It's okay to love the fact that when you're in a family environment, that makes you happy, and it might make you more happy than reaching the best goal that you can in your career. So it's hard for girls, man. Like, girls are the hardest to raise, I think, because I remember my uncle used to say, boys is easy. You just got to be really stern with them, and they'll figure it out. Girls, you know, they run in emotions. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, and now I'm starting to realize that you have to, you know, you have to put some pressure, some, you know, strict rules, but you also have to know how to flex it back more than boys. I'm scared, man. I'm scared for my daughters, man. And I want to instill in them the importance of family. Family, to me, is what makes me happy. Being around my family is what makes me happy, makes me complete. Yeah. That. I want to instill family.
Family's important. It's probably the most important. All right, for a fun question. If you won the lottery tomorrow, what will you do?
Oh, wow. That question, you know, it's funny. I ask that question all the time when I'm at work. Whenever there's like a downtime, and I like the lottery. I'm going to win the lottery.
Okay.
I win the lottery. I play it. Like, people say they're going to win it, but they don't play it. But I'm going to win the lottery. But I'm always asking coworkers or family members, what will you do? I'm giving you, 300, 400 million cash money in your bank. What's the first thing you buy? What's the first thing you do? So I've thought about this a lot. So first things first. If it's a large amount, like 300-400 million, the first thing I do is call a limo service and have them take me somewhere, buy a fresh outfit, right? Then pick up, then like visit my friends, my real close friends. And I'm like, guess what happened, kid? Get in here, right? So then I start calling people. Since there's so much money, I'm gonna charter a plane charter a plane, go to an island with all these special people, and just have an amazing party weekend. Like, rated R, not rated X, not rated PG-13, like just right there, right in the border. But like maybe go to the Maldives, rent a whole resort over, and just say, "Yo, guys, we're gonna party," and like fly in. I always said I will always want to throw a party with Little John and Pitbull.
Wow.
Just as my MCs, and like a couple of dope DJs, and just be like, "What?" So after I do that, and we come back to reality, I'm a car guy. So there's a lot of cars that I want that at that level, those cars appreciate. They don't depreciate. So I will definitely start hunting for cars that are coming out at least now that will definitely appreciate. And some of them I'll keep chilling, but I'll definitely drive them. I love driving vehicles. I love cars. I love sports cars, Ferrari, Lambo, Porsche, McLaren, all those toys. Definitely. I'm going to have a home with a back cave full of cars. Definitely.
Nice. What are your since you're a car guy, what are your top 5 cars?
Like, no budget.
No budget, yeah.
No budget. Woo. Right now, Austin Martin is about to drop a hypercar called Valkyrie. It's like it looks like a race car. Like it's almost like a Formula One race car. It fits 2 people, but you're like shoulder to shoulder. Like, you know what I mean? And it looks beautiful. So the Valkyrie, the Ferrari LaFerrari, love it. The Bugatti Chiron, definitely. Koenigsegg, a Jera, maybe a Jera. It's a new one that's coming out. I forgot the name, but that one is definitely gonna appreciate because they're only making a few. That's the key. It's like that's what's crazy, man. Rich people got things that just get more expensive. You know what I mean? Like real rich people. And I love muscle cars too. So like my favorite muscle car of all time was the Dodge Charger.
Mm.
The Dukes of Hazzard, but blacked out and slammed. Like I think that thing is beautiful, mean, like the grill, and it's just, and then the muscle pipe, purring in the back. Mm-hmm. That would be dope. So like it'll be crazy because you have all these modern European cars, and then the Dodge Charger.
Yeah, no, that's a beast. That's a beast.
Yeah.
Is there anyone you would like to thank or express your appreciation for that you haven't had the chance to yet?
Ooh. There's one person. When I got out of the military, I was kind of like in limbo land. I didn't know what to do. I was working for New York Rent-A-Car. And I was like, service person or a person that like used to check you in. So I didn't have a suit. I didn't have a ride to get to Queens College because they sent me a letter saying, listen, don't quit your job quite yet, but we want you to come in because we're considering you for the next academy class. So I was like, okay. I borrowed a suit from my boy Manny, rest in peace, Manny. Fit me a little baggy because it was a little bigger than me. And I took a ride with my family friend, Emilio. Emilio and me drive to Queens College. And they have an auditorium with like a set of stairs that go up to the auditorium from the sidewalk. So we parked like a half a block away. And leave me here. Don't leave me right in front. There was no cars. It was just an empty street. And I get out, and I take like about 4 or 5 steps, and I see that 99% of everybody that's standing on the stairwell is Caucasian. And I'm like, I got scared, got nervous. And popped into my head, you know, I said, these people ain't gonna hire me, man. Like, they just stringing me along for purposes of, oh, we have to like send letters to these people. You know what I mean? We're gonna figure out a way to get rid of him. That comes from growing up immigrant and hearing all your uncles and cousins and saying like, nah, cops are mad racist, nah, cops are this. Because back then, in the 70s and 80s, when they were interacting with police, there was very little Hispanic and African American and even women. There was very little. So they always thought, oh, that's a white person's job.
Yeah.
And that influenced me. So I get back in the car, I turn around. He's like, you know, parked on the side. I get back in and I close the door. I was like, bro, get me out of here, man. I don't want to do this. And he's looking at me like I'm retarded. He's like, are you crazy? Like, what you mean? It's like, bro, like, they ain't gonna hire me. Look at this. It's all white people, man. Like, this job is not for us. And he told me, he's like, listen, man, the fact that you got the chance, the opportunity to even go there, you have to have them reject you. You go in there, have them reject you. You crazy? If there's an opportunity, then maybe they'll hire you. Nah, man, you going. Get out the car. Like, he got a little nasty with me. He was like, get out the car, you going. He's like, and then like, I heard my mom and my dad in the background in my mind. I was like, oh shit, yeah, you're right. So I get out and I walk and we go to Queens College, to the auditorium. We're getting briefed and we're filling out all this paperwork. And they're like, listen, just because you're filling this paperwork doesn't mean you're gonna get hired. And then they add, if we call your name, you go to the back of the auditorium. Make sure that all your property is with you. Don't leave it behind because you might not be coming back. And we were like, what you? Yeah. And the guy's like, yes. You might have lied in your application. You might have not mentioned that, you know, you were blood. You have a warrant in like Florida. You might, you know. So, you know, so we go through the whole day. And at the end, he goes like, all right, we're done. We're done. And I go like, and the guy goes like, listen, look to the guy or the girl next to you and congratulate them because you're hired. And I'm like, what you mean? Like, yes, you guys are going to the police academy. You're going to become cops. I'm like, what? So we're all hugging each other and, you know, shaking hands. And then we walk out. This is back in 2000. Late 99, early 2000. And I come out and I see a guy with a cell phone. Cell phones weren't that, you know, not many people had cell phones then. And I asked the guy, begged him, I was like, listen, I'll give you $20 if you let me have 1 minute. I didn't even know what phones cost back then. I just want to call my mom. He's like, all right, here, you don't have to give me $20. I call my mom. I'm like, Ma, I'm going to be a cop. She's like, oh my God, congratulations. Like, and that was amazing. And I think if it wasn't because of Emilio, I probably would have been salty about it. Yeah. And then probably maybe not try again. Probably I would have been like, nah, that's bull crap. You know, F them. Like, police. I don't want to be giving tickets and locking up people. I don't want that. You know what I mean? But it's like if it wasn't because of him, my life could have been going somewhere else, man. And like somebody made me realize that not too long ago, where like somebody asked me like, what was like the first when you first found out that you was gonna be a cop? Like, how did you feel that day? And it clicked. That wouldn't have happened if it wasn't because of Emilio. Shout out Emilio. I haven't seen you in a while. We gotta get together, man. Thank you.
Nice. All right. For our final question, how do you define success?
Success. Easy. Success So it makes you happy. Success is what the goal that you set out for yourself, for your, I guess, for your life or your career, or what. Well, not just your career. Success is the goal that you set out to get, and you got it, and you got it the right way, and you're maintaining it, and it's making you happy. That could be starting a family.
Yeah.
That could be successful for many people. Having a steady job could be successful. So some people might be like a lot of people in my family told me, "Yo, are you a sergeant yet? Are you a lieutenant yet? Are you a captain yet?" And I'm like, I don't want to be a supervisor. Like, I don't want to be that right now. And in retrospect, I could have, but I don't regret it, because I wanted to be in the forefront. Like, I never wanted a job behind a desk.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be dealing with people. I love dealing with people. I love getting my hands dirty. I love, walking around, connecting with people. That's one of the reasons I love my job. It's like I affected so many people in good ways, hopefully more than bad ways. Because, I used to tell kids that I would catch doing things they weren't supposed to do, and I would give them a chance. I'm like, bro, you don't understand, man. I could take your freedom. You know what I mean? I could mess up your whole life by just locking you up and putting something on your record that diminishes your chances of getting a certain career or getting somewhere.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, success is getting to the point that makes you happy. Definitely. If you're happy, like I was happy. Like I'm happy. Like some people might think finances has a lot to do with it because it helps you be happy. But like I find myself very successful because I have a beautiful relationship with my wife. I have a beautiful relationship with my family, with my kids, and that fills me with joy. And if I were to go today, then my little angel wings, hopefully, I would definitely go like I was successful.
Right.
To me, because I made my family, I made my wife happy, I made my kids happy, I made myself happy. You know what I mean? I provided, definitely, yeah. A lot of people think success is, you have to make a lot of money or you have to get to the top of your career. No, like some of the happiest people are not at the top of their career. A lot of sad people are at the top of their career. So you gotta be careful.
Yeah. Perfect answer, man. It's been a pleasure. We connected, we politic, and hopefully we'll do this again in the near future. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thanks.